Ainsley Jordan, your winning coach, founder of the Winning Network. And I got with me the man, the myth, the legend himself, Jonathan George, the founder, the creator of Unleash Your Rockstar. Jonathan, I couldn't be more excited to deep dive into this session.
I'm excited. This is incredible. And those of you who are wondering, Unleash Your Rockstar, what the heck that is, we are a personal branding agency. My clients have over 150 million online followers, and I'm passionate. I have a burning desire to make sure that you stand up powerfully in the things that you're gifted with so that you can make an impact that you're born to make. And so that is my heart. That is my soul. Everything that I'm going to be talking about, I want to make sure that we are setting you up to win.
It is the truth. And that's one thing we love, is that when you have partnerships like this between the Winning Network, between Unleash Your Rockstar, is that you grow together and we invest in you. So if you haven't done it right now, you can see his name, Jonathan George. Make sure you go to his website. Make sure you follow along with him on social media, and we'll have that info for you throughout the course. But do it because, listen, the content you're about to get is going to change your life. It's going to change your perspective. It's going to change everything about you that you had hoped for, because we got pros like Jonathan George in the house. Couldn't be more excited. But also, Jonathan, we have a couple of other amazing people with us as well that we've literally met through Clubhouse that, 2-3 weeks ago, I didn't even know them, and they become our brothers.
This is the power. This is the power of joint ventures. Creating, co-creation is exploding. I'm telling you, it has been probably this is what I've been excited about more than, making 70,000 my first week, being on Clubhouse. The joint ventures, the partnerships, the relationships that I'm creating have been one of the most exciting things on the planet.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's do it. I'd like to bring up with us as well Nelson Osorio, who is the Chief Innovation Officer for the Winning Network. A new ad. Nelson, welcome. So glad to have you with us, because honestly, as we dive into building your personal brand, there's so much information that collectively, as this team has had and seen over multiple different rooms, it's huge. Nelson, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for the wonderful introduction, Jonathan. Great to see you again, buddy. Yeah, my name is Nelson Osorio. I am the Chief Innovation Officer with the Winning Network. So we have so many exciting things behind the scenes that we're working on for everyone. I also am the founder and CEO of a company called Inspire the Youth in New Jersey, working as a mental health business, working with kids who struggle with anxiety, depression, autism, all of the things under the sun that have mental health involved. And, this is just a great platform that I've gotten the chance to meet both you gentlemen and the other person who you're about to bring on. And again, the relationships we're building go way deeper than just a social media platform. And I'm excited to be a part of an opportunity to bring some insight on how people can build these same relationships. So thank you, guys.
It's the truth. Next up. Next up, also another add-on of somebody that, Jonathan, we've gotten to know over the last couple of weeks. Again, it's amazing because these are the relationships you build. One week I didn't know them. The next week we're building content together, learning from each other. Awesome. I want to introduce as well our Chief Relationship Officer at the Winning Network as well, Ryan Warren. The guy's been a phenomenal coach for men for many, many years, and he pours into us and our team and into Jonathan, and Jonathan pours into me, and it's just like this big circle of everybody helping each other. Ryan, welcome, Chief Relationship Officer. Man, tell us about yourself real quick.
Well, thank you. This is great. You touched on relationships, and especially with something like Clubhouse, because it's one more opportunity that you have to make these really incredible relationships in your life. And learning how to do that, especially in a new environment and a new space, it can be really challenging. So again, thankful to be here. Ryan Warren, Chief Relationship Officer at the Winning Network. And in my life, I've gone all in on relationships. And, right now in our culture, relationship, it's kind of become a little bit of a buzzword. And with that comes a lot of information, and some of it's accurate. Some of it's on its way to be accurate. But it's a big deal to make sure that we define what it is, what you actually want out of the relationship, how to set up things like boundaries, healthy boundaries. But it all boils down to one thing for me, and that the foundation of every healthy relationship are these three words: I choose you. Wow. And it's that I choose the person regardless if they're choosable or not. Because the minute that I let me choosing them dependent on them, they've got all the power. So it also means that being a powerful person, it really sets you up to be successful in relationships. That's what we want to do at the Winning Network, is teach you how to be powerful so that you can be powerful in those relationships and really enjoy all the benefits of having great relationships. So yeah, I'm a native Texan. I live here with my wife and my daughter Sloan, and over the past 3 years have had a chance to coach several hundred men in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that are wanting to connect with their wives more and their kids more. So yeah, happy to be here. And two relationships. That's what it's all about.
And these connections, man, are so powerful.
They are, and that's one of the things that we're going to dive into here in just a little bit. So one, congratulations on investing in yourself and moving past the Kickstart course, and that's exactly what you're doing literally right now. So Jonathan, I can't wait, man, because you are a pro in this next segment. We're getting ready to talk about profile, the importance of profile and bio. So stay with us right now as we dive into segment number 1, your profile and how to be able to build it there on Clubhouse. Stay with us. Okay, pause. Okay, great. Ready? Dive into it. Boom. Here we go. Jonathan, you want to do the intro into this? Take it away. You want me to lead you in?
Doesn't matter to me. You're the MC and the host.
Okay, here we go. Hey, welcome back to segment number 1. We're talking about building your profile and a great bio in Clubhouse. And listen, guys, there's no better person to talk to us about this than Jonathan George, the personal branding extraordinaire with Unleash Your Rockstar. Man, honestly, I'm just excited to talk to you. Secondly, I'm excited to learn from you. So why is building a profile and a bio so why is it the first step in really diving into building a personal brand?
Well, it's the only way that we can figure something out about you, because we can't see you. We can't read your energy. So if you're down sitting next to me on Clubhouse, I have to click on your photo and read your profile. Mm-hmm. And I have met so many people, just in queue on Clubhouse where I've read their bio and I wanted to engage further with them. And I also search for people specifically to come host my rooms with me. And I want experts in their field. So I go and look for people specifically, do searches, and I go and read their Instagram after I read their bios, and then I DM people. So, man, it is the most powerful thing, because it's the only thing that you really have. It's your business card. But it's so much more than a business card. It's your connection card too.
Yeah. And one of the things that you outline, you talk about as you dive into your profile and bio, is that when people are looking, a lot of times that's missed, and I think you're going to get into, when people are wanting to find out more about you, like they're looking to find out kind of what you offer and what you're about, and a quick summary of what that is. And specific to Clubhouse, there's a couple points before you dive into kind of the 6 steps that you really need to focus on. There's the difference between your long bio and your short bio. You want to talk to that real quick?
Well, the Clubhouse profile is really, it's your professional and personal kind of all mixed in one. And also with, and it's done with such intention to make sure, because it is so fast. Clubhouse moves so quickly. So you have short minutes, just a few seconds to really connect with people. Are they attracted to what they see? Right? Your photo that's there, are they attracted to that? What is it that they're, and it's like kind of move on a little bit. And it may seem a little like that sounds gross, but it's so powerful. And you have the opportunity to set yourself up for the most powerful success. You think about the 4 of us sitting here talking. It wasn't by chance. It was, it's a little by choice, clear intention. Yeah. And this is what has come out of it. And, this is the power of it, because you think about what last year was like for most people. For so many people. And so this is a chance to connect, but also share your gifts with the world powerfully. So you ready to dive into it? You want to dive in?
Let's go. All
right. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is on your bio. Of course, you need to have a great photo of yourself that's clear. We can see your face, and it's something that we're going to remember, right? But let's build out this profile. And first thing I want you to do is to get super clear on your intention. Write it out. Why am I going to show up on Clubhouse for 5 hours a day? Why am I going to be here for 1 hour a day? What is it that I'm really wanting to do in this space? What does that look like?
Yeah.
Because the clearer your intention is, the clearer people know how to engage with you. The clearer the intention, the clearer you are going to be able to achieve that. Now, I'm somebody who believes in the what you speak out comes back to you, right?
Yeah.
Or the things that we want come back to us. And you've got to make sure, of course, you got to be vibrating at the same level of the thing that you're seeking, because it's not going to come back to you if you're not, right?
Yeah.
But if you have that clear intention, you really set that powerfully, then you're going to funnel everything else underneath that. If you're on there just to create connections with people, fine. But how do you want to make those connections, and why do you want to make those connections? If you want to be on there so that you can be the thought leader, you can be the chief innovator officer in this space where you're creating thoughts for people.
Yeah.
How is that, right? So you got to think about, why am I in this space?
Yeah.
Because you think about how much time have you guys spent on Clubhouse this week?
Oh, dude.
Do you know?
Honestly,
what is 24? Yeah, what's 24 hours a day times 7? I don't.
So all of us are looking at the same thing. It's like we're spending hours upon hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's be honest, most of us, I guarantee you, none of us were clear with our intentions when we first started.
Mm-hmm.
right.
I wasn't clear. I just was like, what is this? This is fun. Oh my God. Whoa. It was like a party. But then I was like, whoa, I'm spending so much time. And I wish somebody would have told me this before I started, or as soon as I got on. Jonathan, be clear about your intentions.
Yeah. Yeah. Ryan brought the point. You want go ahead and say that, Brian.
Yeah, exactly what Jonathan's talking about with those intentions. Whenever we're connecting with people, and maybe you've heard this, but our communication actually breaks down into really scientific levels. And the fact that 55% of all of our communication is visual, 55%, over half. 7% of it is verbal, the words that we're actually choosing to use, but 38% of it is vocal. So whenever he's talking about that picture that's on Clubhouse that's sitting there, people are going to be looking at your picture while you're talking, and it's 55%. That's the only visual they have. So to be able to say that the photo that you select doesn't communicate a message in your intention, in your relationships, in your availability, and how you connect and how you relate, you're punting half of your communication to connect if you don't really take time to think about your photo.
Wow, that's a great
I
point.
love that. I've had to screenshot that. Of course, then my dog started barking so loud. Hey, we're all at home. My babies are my life, so it's okay.
Yeah, and Jonathan, I want to go just slightly deeper on talking about that words, that message, and your intention. Pay attention to the words that you're actually choosing. That's 7%. But the way that you're saying the words, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So really think about, yes, I may actually say the wrong word. Hey, if you say the wrong word, you've only shattered 7% of it. You're still good. Keep going. But this intention stuff you're talking about is so crucial for connecting.
I love that. That's powerful. Yeah. And again, I keep bringing back to the point, that clear intention. I put down for myself, of course, clients to learn, to serve, to build joint ventures with people. And I have to say, clients, my first week, $70K. To be able to serve, I've been landing on the biggest platforms on here.
Yeah.
To be able to receive, I'm learning from the best masterminds in the planet that I would have to pay $30K to be in. I'm learning every day freely, and I can ask questions and get answers immediately. And then that last one of being able to do joint ventures, 4 of us are sitting here right now.
Yeah.
I also, I have holes in my company, and I put in my bio with intention, I am looking for people to help me build my business.
Yeah. That's good.
I have created within 1 week, I've created 2 joint ventures with people, or I don't even know if you call it joint venture, but to me, it's a joint venture. I'm going to build out their personal brands, and they are going to build out my part of my company that I need.
Yeah.
All of the intentions I have set have already come to fruition, and it is February early February.
Yeah.
That's the power of clear intention.
Yeah.
So just write it out. So let's move on to the next thing, right? Okay, the title. Let's talk about titles.
Yeah.
The reason why your title is so important on there, this is the top 3 things. So the first thing I'm going to say is your title is searchable. It is there's 3 lines when you click on somebody's picture, you only can read their first 3 lines of their bio without opening it up. How attractive is that? How sexy is that to you? How appealing is that to you? Do you want to go further? Do you want to have a conversation with them? Also, it's searchable in the search bar. So at the top left-hand corner, there's a little search. You click on that. So, if I'm running a room on mental health and the importance of having a personal brand to help overcome mental health and having identity issues or whatever, I would click in mental health.
Yeah.
And all the people that have mental health at the top in some form, I'll be able to read through their profiles. So I did another room on masculine and feminine energy in your brand. What holds you back and what is going to keep working, right? So I love having these different topics around your brand.
Yeah.
I found all of these coaches that coach on masculine energy, feminine energy. And then I pulled in people also who had big brands that were like super masculine, feminine, like women who were super walking in their masculine energy. So I was able to find all of these people through that search bar. Think of yourself as a search engine optimization. And if you have some fancy title, rather than saying a personal branding agency, I've never called myself a personal branding agency before until Clubhouse. I never thought of myself that way. But I was like, hey, I've got to be so clear. People got to know how to consume me.
Yeah.
Because most people are like, personal branding. Well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Right. So I hit it hard so that now I'm at the top 3. Like if you look up personal branding, I'm going to be in the top 3 spot. So this is the importance of that title. And if you put a fancy title, a fancy word that people, if you're a relationship coach and you want to say, I'm the human connector. Okay, that's cool. Right? I love cool, fancy titles. Hello, I'm a branding guy.
Yeah.
But on Clubhouse, that doesn't necessarily serve you in the search engine optimization. So it's fine if you want to be called that. Just know you're not going to be up in that search engine. People will begin to know you as that person. That's called branding.
Yeah.
You just have to show up consistently as that. That is fine. So you have to make the decision. What do you want? For me, my title, my nickname is the Human Hitmaker. I build personal brands. I'm the Human Hitmaker. But I don't lead with that because nobody on the planet's going to be looking for the Human Hitmaker on Clubhouse. Let's be honest, right?
Yeah.
So even though that may sound cool and fancy and you're going to remember that, people aren't going to be looking for that.
Yeah.
So you just have to make that decision, make that idea come to life. And you guys, let's look at these titles. Pull up Nelson's title.
Boom.
Chief Innovation Officer. Now, that's a really cool title. And now that is Disney has those titles. People actually have these titles. Big companies have these titles. Right?
Yeah.
So it's an incredible title. And you can also say something else. I wouldn't put the Winning Network in my title if it was me. I would just be Chief Innovation Officer. Down below, I would just say, the Winning Network, because you want to put that top thing. What does Ryan say? Chief Relationship Officer. And see, and this is really cool because Ryan was saying that companies actually have this title.
Yeah.
So people would be looking at it, but also other words that he's a connector. He builds communities. See, I'm going to look up, for me, if I was looking up, because I want to have a room under Unleash Your Rockstar that is about building community, right? So I'm going to look up community builders, relationship coaches, something in that facet to be able to look those up. So think about your title. How are you going to show up? And again, and let's be real, most of us who are entrepreneurs are what I call octopuses. There are many things that we do.
Yeah.
Right? There's many things that we do, but people can't swallow an octopus with the arms going everywhere, right? It's like stopping you, and then as you're trying to get those 8 arms in, and then somebody pulls out 6 more arms, and you're like, what is going on? You have to learn how to encapsulate yourself so people know how to consume you easily, right? So think about yourself as there's a thread. So if you're a relationship officer, if you're a community builder, if you're a human connector, it's all about relationships.
Yeah.
Right? There's always a common thread. So, early on in my career, I started off, I have a music education degree, and I came out here to LA, and I hope I'm not running over. Just tell me if I am and I'll move on. But I started teaching voice, and I started building my company, and all of a sudden we're directing the music videos, we're writing their songs, we're producing, we're creating their shows, we're creating their show tapes. And like, there were so many hats that we had. There was like 25 things that we could build for people. We built their websites, we built their personal brands, we created their stories. And then but people are like, Jonathan's my, well, he's kind of my mentor. He's my coach. He's not sure, all those things, right?
Yeah.
So what I had to do was create one title, artist development.
Yeah.
Well, with that title, everybody knew how to consume me. All of the modalities in which I did that, nobody needed to know all of that. Those are just things that I can serve my client. So don't focus so much on your modalities, and really work on what it is that you really do at the end of the day. And then you can list out maybe some of those modalities in which you do that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
that makes total sense.
Like, I don't go in, I just say personal branding agency. I don't go into like the 50 things that we offer our clients, because that's overwhelming. That's too much, right? And you're like, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Just calm people down, let them know how to consume you, be known for something specifically on Clubhouse, and make sure that you're very powerful with that. Because what you want is people, I've been getting messages from other branding people saying, Jonathan, I've been using your words, branding, your personal branding is like personal development on crack.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And people are telling me they're saying that. And I'm like, that's what you want, is people saying your words. You want to be known for something. So hopefully that makes sense for everybody.
Oh, totally, man. So
is it safe to say personal branding is really just keeping it as simple as possible, specifically to Clubhouse, instead of trying to be overcomplicated with keeping a big title?
Yeah. And you just asked a really great question that just made me think of something really fast. So personal branding, think of it as the hook of a song, right? This is really the human part of you. This is the heart part of you. Your personality, your character, how you show up in that space. People are either going to sing your praises or they're going to turn you off when you come into the room. Mm-hmm. So, right, that's that part of it. Now, like I always say, the depth of your brand depends on the depth of your goals. So if you want to be known for something, and you got to carry that personal side into the aspect of the brand, of another part of that brand, something that you're trying to grow bigger, right? But you're still the thought leader in this space. You're still the person who is standing up and having this conversation. So just so that people have that clarity. And so, and to Nelson's question, your question about that is that you want to be clear and concise as possible. The less noise, the greater the noise is going to be.
Yeah. So let's recage as we go through, because there is so much goodness in talking about the clarity and talking about how you do that in your title. So we're talking about building your profile, right? And the first thing you hit on was your clear intentions. You have to know what it is you want to do. You can't be all over the place. I love your example of the octopus. I never thought of it like that, but it's 100% right. In fact, that was one of the things initially when I first started before I started the Winning Network, it was okay. I've got to figure out who's Kinsley Jordan. And one of the things I focused on was saying, hey, I'm a Air Force instructor pilot. I'm a worship pastor. I'm a CEO I am all these things, and I'm a bit of a freak, and I do all of these things. Which at that moment I hadn't realized that was who I am. That is my brand. I live multiple different areas of my life, and I'm happy to say that that's what it is. But you really do have to be able to summarize that down into one segment, which you were talking about. What is your title? Which was the exact outline of, you need to know who your title is, and you need to be able to summarize, hey, this is who I am. And there's 3 other major steps, or 4 other major steps that are included in this, Jonathan, that it's not just clear intentions and your title, but now you have to bring some evidence to that, if you will.
Yes. So number 3 would be social proof, right? And
what do you mean by that?
This is really uncomfortable for people. So whether that's a job that you've created, you see a lot of people on Clubhouse. It seems like everybody's millionaires. I'm like, good grief, it's really incredible. It's like wow. But people don't really say whether they make that 1 million over 10 years or 1 million over 20 years. They just say, they grew their business to 7 figures, right?
Yeah.
But there's a way to position your wins. This is positioning your wins, right? I like for people to think about their wins, whether that's whether you were somebody high at Microsoft, but you're no longer there, and people are like, well, I don't want to put that there. Yeah, that kind of gives you authority. Think about the things that give you authority. The reason why at the top of mine says my clients have over 150 million online followers. Let me just tell you, there are 50,000 people who have personal branding at the top of their title, but they can't say that their clients have over 150 million followers.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm like, this is why I'm an expert at what I do. I know how to create a personal brand that completely is powerful, strong, confident, and it's going to stand out from everybody else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I can say that with confidence because I've been doing it, not out of arrogance.
Yeah.
That's what I do. That's my zone of genius, right?
Yeah.
So be in your zone of genius. Don't be ashamed of it. And if you've got, if you are, and if you've got, a lot of people have, if you've got the numbers to back up what you've done. So don't just tell me that you build businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Tell some of those numbers,
mm-hmm.
right? If you're a realtor, don't just say I'm a high sales realtor. Let's put down that you've sold $185 million worth of real estate in 2020, right? Because one of my clients was on Clubhouse right now, and she was trying to be all like graceful, and I was like, no. Let's be very powerful. Let's show what you've done, because how are we supposed to know? Why am I going to bring you with their 15 real estate agents in the audience? What's going to make you be the loudest?
Yeah.
Let's look at that, right? This is the realist, and if you want to be that humble of a person, that's not what I call humble. That's what I call being a little dumb.
Yeah.
And simple, right? You need to be powerful.
Yeah.
You work hard for those things, and you're going to be hidden underneath the rock. And that is not why you show up in these spaces.
Jonathan.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jonathan, can we do this in real time? It's not on my profile, but over the past 3 years, my mediation between government subcontractors has kept over $17 million in contracts established. There's over $17 million in sub-government contracts that were in jeopardy, and my mediation led to them being completed. Is that something I should have on my profile?
Hell to the yeah. Oh
so,
my gosh.
So everybody, like, this is an example of what he's talking about. That's something, for me, that I would never even think to put on there. But he's saying it has a big deal.
Yes. So you got to think about, how does that tie into it, right? It's because of your relationships. It's the relationships that you create in order for that to happen, right? And we had talked about Kinsley is like, he's an incredible instructor, flight instructor. But what really makes him great at it? It's because he wants to see people win.
Yeah.
He wants to see people excel. That's why he's a great instructor, right? So you have to think, how does that all tie into one another?
Yeah.
And then that's the brilliance. That's the connector that happens. So do you want to keep moving?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Absolutely.
we answered that really well.
Yeah.
That was an incredible example, Ryan, that we actually got to see and hear right here. Like, yes, you share those wins, the companies that you work for, it's all social proof to make you powerful. So those are amazing. Now, this is fourth part is so important. And with the kick butt profile of this is who we are, this is how we've done it, let's talk about the story. And it's kind of weird. And you're like, how do I tie in all of this stuff? Now, with personal branding, the first thing I'm going to dive into you with is your personal story. It creates your why. It creates the history of what's made you so powerful to get to where you are, right? And it doesn't need to be a paragraph. You guys building out your bios, do not put paragraphs in there. You want short snippets so people can read that stuff quickly and easily. And so, if you can do a bio that's quick, one of my clients, Cheryl Rich, who was pregnant, her mom tried to have an abortion with her when she was a baby. And so it failed. So she was born into a world with no love. She got pregnant at 11, trying to search for love. Got drug addiction, became a convicted felon. Her son died at 18 years old. She became a phoenix, rose from the ashes, and now is a clinical psychologist.
Wow.
Bullet points, baby. Bullet points.
Yeah.
We don't need to hear all the details of that. That bullet points is very powerful. And you can go look at my bio. My bio is done in a paragraph because I can't bullet point like that. But it's done very short, to the point. I left out all those details. There's so much more details that I would be able to tell in a speech, but not in this space, right? Does that make sense? So your personal story, and you guys, we all know, we've all been in, our rooms turn into these big personal story things where we all start connecting. And when was it that you started connecting with me? Is when I told my story.
Mm-hmm.
And even though you may not relate exactly to my story, it was how I rounded it up and said, my story may not look like your story, but we all know what it feels like to not be seen, to not be heard, and to feel like we're not good enough. And everybody in the space is like, yes, that's me.
100%.
Been there, seen it, felt it, known it.
Right? And I just want to say, telling your story is not easy. And I want people to always tell it from an empowered space, not a vulnerable space where it's sensitive, but in an empowered space. And I just want people to understand that when you tell your story, it creates immediate trust, connection, and raving fans. People will remember your story before they're going to know what you do. People invest in people. They don't invest in your services.
Yeah.
Especially in a space where you're working with coaches and companies that are much more heart-centered.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So your personal story, and I do want to say this, is that, and if you're going, well, I don't know. If you watch American Idol, if you watch America's Got Talent, it's always story first. You don't even care that they don't sing that incredibly well because you're already emotionally invested in the people. That's the power of your story. One of my artists, Harper Gruzins at the time, if you look her up, is the world's worst national anthem singer. And when she came to me at 11 years old, she wanted to stop singing. She wanted to quit. And I said, no, we have to get a hold of the story. You've got to let that be your triumph story. She shows up on American Idol at 15 years old. And at 15, what do you think the first thing that they did at her audition? They show the world's worst national anthem. But because we owned up to it, we were able to help with it and get and say it from a powerful space. All of a sudden, It became the #1 watched video of the season. She didn't even go onto the top 20 because she didn't sign the contracts, but because of her story was so powerful, they brought her back to sing on final night with the top 3.
Wow.
That's the power of your story. And that is why you have to learn to tell it on Clubhouse, and you watch it. The rooms that are the most powerful, people are sharing their stories. People are just like powerfully and vulnerably, but you've got to make sure you tell it quickly. Don't be one of these 30-minuters. Don't even be a 10-minute guy.
That right there, that point that you're making, as a moderator, that's one of the things that I actually have to shut down. Like, people are expecting the room to move on. And Jonathan, that's a really, really good point, is that if you don't know how to tell your story in a succinct, articulated manner, people are going to tune out. I mean, it's kind of like a website. You got about 8 seconds to get somebody's attention and to get them diverted to what you want them to focus on. Same thing. Like right now, you're already tuning out from what I said because we're already come, you know what I mean? You got to get their attention.
Give it in a 30-second pitch if you can.
Yeah.
1 minute, no more. Right.
Yeah.
And there's an art form to this. And that's not easy. I promise you, it's not easy. I paid a company, even though I build out everybody else's, I had to pay a company $30,000 to help me tell mine in a powerful way. But I wanted to work with the best company. And let me just tell you, it helped. I can do it for everybody else, could not do it for myself.
Yeah, that's good. Share your personal story. Number 4. No, Nelson, Ryan, did you have something on that? I thought you were going to share something on that. Anything? Okay.
Yeah, Kinsley, there was one thing, you know, Jonathan brings up a good point whenever we're sharing in these rooms and trying to connect. But the thing about Clubhouse, there's never a great moment where multiple people are talking at the same time. So if there's only one person talking in the room and relationally you're not it, the only thing that's going to speak for you is your profile. And to have part of your story, like Jonathan's saying on there, people may be listening to someone, but the truth is some people are looking at different people's profile while somebody else is talking.
Yeah.
So if you're not the one and they're not hearing your voice in a connecting part of the relationship, Jonathan's spot on. You can tell a great part of your story in your profile because somebody's going to hear you share your story in that.
Yeah. That's a
and
really,
I don't share my story when I'm hosting or modding. I don't share that unless it comes up, and it doesn't come up all the time. But I get DMs all the time from when I say something and somebody goes, "Oh my God, your story just like, I can't believe your story." Right now, everybody's like, "What's the story? What's the story?" But you have to read my Clubhouse bio.
Yeah, you got to follow us in Clubhouse. That's how you're going to find out. Man.
Right? Yeah. And so it's very powerful.
So that was point number 4. Share your story. So important. You absolutely have to do it. So point number 5, as we go through, because there's 6 total, especially in this profile and building your bio, that are really important. Point number 5 is what?
And this is the universal connectors. And these are things that you put on there that are important to you, maybe if you went to a certain school, where you're from, if you have kids, if you're, single mom, or, the different things. Like I have master's practitioner of neurolinguistic programming in mine.
Wow.
I have, so that, I get called into certain rooms and I can speak with authority over that space, right? But I tie it all into branding. I don't just put that there for a reason, for no reason. I actually want to connect with people. I love dogs. Now, I didn't put dogs in mine. I took it out. But so there's a guy on Clubhouse that I've become really good friends with. He mods all the rooms I'm in with. And he's an empire builder, and he has 3 huge dog companies that, for dog beds and treats and different stuff like that, that are in all the stores. And we've just built a relationship because of the dogs. I don't run an e-commerce business. I don't really, like there's things that, I'm interested in it, and I have mad respect for the guy because he's so brilliant, but that's what connected us. And when we're in rooms together, we put our dog pictures up. You know what I mean? Like, let's put our dogs up, because we want to show off the things that we love. And so these are universal connectors and things that maybe you're part of government, like for me, I'm on the city council. So I could put something in like that. So anybody who's in that kind of field would be interested in that. Yeah. Or if you like different things that you're involved with. If you're involved and you love If you got an organization that you're not trying to lead with, but it's there, put those titles in there, put those things in there.
Yeah.
Because it allows people to connect with you. Just like Ryan said, they're reading your bio while you're talking.
And it makes you more human, and it makes you somebody that people want to reach out to and say, I connect with you. Like, that's awesome. For example, I'll go back to Haley. I forgot who she was, but she's got like 40,000 followers. She was one of the mods in the rooms last night. She's big into fitness, and I think she made a Mommy Fit clothing line. But anyway, one of the things that she was talking about last night, if you go to her Instagram, is a bunch of pictures of just her kind of living her life with her kids. And I looked at that, and you look at the amount of followers she had, and you think, oh, you know, geez, I can imagine what this profile is going to be. No, it was like real life pictures of her kids, their daughter. I was like, oh, you're a real person. That's really nice.
Yeah, we all think we need to post this all business.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
again, we're past that. Like, I don't want to go to your profile and you preach at me for the whole entire time.
Yeah.
I want to connect with you because I'm looking at your kid pictures. I'm looking at your dogs. I'm looking at different things that interest me. You know, if you got a picture and there's a house now, I'm like looking at the house because I love architecture. I love all that stuff, you know? Yeah. And so there's many things that we're going to connect with people with. So that's key. That's very important. Show us the humanity. That personal story and the universal connectors are the biggest things that are going to draw and create actually the relationships. The other stuff gets you through the door. It creates, okay, this person, no, I mean, all the time. People come in my room. I look at those first things, the title, the social proof, and I'll put somebody as a moderator if they speak intelligently and they're like fire, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this person. But then it's really, am I going to bring them back?
Yeah.
And this is back to that the core of the personal brand.
Yeah.
Right? The humanity side, that personal story, who you are. There's so much depth of a personal brand and that we can't even go into. But, you know, it's that personal development side of it, you know. But it's like, am I going to bring you back into the space?
Yeah. So from universal connectors, it's that you're sharing it. You share your personal story. Step number 4, you build those universal connectors. So once people connect with you and they're like, "Oh man, that's an amazing story," now you build that parallel to say, not only is it an amazing story, like they're a lot like me. Like we have a lot in common that we could actually bond over. And then now here's the thing. Here's the kicker that we've heard it said several times throughout the room is this last and final point that you have to deliver on. Like if you don't deliver on this, and Ryan, you bring it up several times. I think you do a great job of talking about why are you in the room? Because if you leave the room and you don't get what you're wanting out of the room, why are you in the room to begin with? Like what is your intentionality of it? And let's throw it out there as you outline it. Your call to action. Your call to action, Jonathan.
It's 100% if you don't put a call to action, then people, it's really amazing. For me, I don't need call to actions from people because I'm such an action taker. Mm-hmm. So if somebody interests me, I'm on it, right? I go and I just do what I need to do. Yeah. But most people will just go, and until they read the words DM me or ping me to moderate, mm-hmm. and these are the topics I want to talk about, people are like, oh, there's an opportunity. Jonathan would come and moderate with me. It says on his bio that he wants to moderate on these. Let me hit him up. Yeah. Right. And so because you get somebody who's got 20,000 followers. Well, they have 20,000 followers, but let's be real. I don't care how many followers you have or don't have. People love a platform to speak from. Yeah. And I've watched it over and over. Somebody with 35 followers who has a substantial bio written can hit up somebody that is very big with 25, 30,000, and they will be hosting a room like that because they connected on all of these other levels. Yeah. Right. And we'll go back to and think outside the box. We've got an innovator here to think outside the box, to break down those barriers. We've got a relationship person here. And that's the reason why we have personal stories and universal connectors to be able to connect with people on a different level, right? We've got a winning coach here that all of these intentions and all of this together is going to take you down this path to win, right? So you have to think about how people are going to really engage with me. Why would they want to engage with me? What is it about me that's powerful? How am I showing up in these spaces? And let me give you a call to action. Let's bring this home.
Yeah.
Right? If you've ever been to church, there's always a call to action, and it's usually in an offering plate. But you've got to think about it. What is the call to action? You can build out the most beautiful Kajabi or ClickFunnels site or a website, but if you don't tell people what to do, they just stand there.
Yeah.
And I learned this because in the music industry, with artists, they would have an amazing show. We would build out these incredible shows. But if you didn't tell fans how to engage with you, they just stayed where they are. You had to say, hey, I'm signing it right out here. Come and see me. It's $5 an autograph. I didn't tell you that, but come get in line, and you get up there and it's $5 an autograph. And before you know it, you just made $10,000.
Yeah.
Boom, right? So it's you got to have a call to action. People have to know how to engage with you.
Yeah. Yeah. That right there is, I think, a lot of reasons why people find themselves frustrated, whether it's followers, whether it's wanting to be able to grow, whether it's connections, is that they don't realize they've got to be able to circle back. And headed over to our relationship guide real quick to literally close up the profile, the bio. Why is this so important? And why is this something that we've got to be able to focus on? Because you're not just building a profile. You're not just building a profile. You think you are. You think you bought this to be able to build a personal brand, but you're not just building a bio and a profile. What are you doing, Ryan?
Yeah, this is hearing Jonathan talk about it. One of the thing that comes to mind is the information that you would share with somebody on a first date. And it's that impression. You talk about certain things, the conversation flows. You don't keep talking about one thing for the entire date. Mm-hmm. That person's going to be like, oh, I'm not. And at the same time, they don't want to be motivating you to offer certain things about yourself. That goes back to those connectors. But where it really gets interesting on the call to action here, and just fascinates me with the way Clubhouse is working relationships. Ask me how many times I look at Kinsley's profile each day. 0.
Oh, well, that hurts.
But here's why. I've seen it. We've made the connection, and now we've done what we both wanted to do, which was move forward.
Yeah.
So I think Jonathan's really onto something here. Whenever you're connecting with somebody, for any idea to be brilliant, it has to be heard by somebody first. Mm-hmm. So this is like the end part of that first date, when you've shared, you've had conversation, you've looked at each other's profiles, seen those things. And that call to action is, what are we going to do next?
Yeah.
Would you like to set something else up? Or, hey, we just got done with dinner. Do you want to go get ice cream? It's basically like moving in from that dating stage. I've moved into some familiarity. We have a little bit of connection. Oh, we have that in common too. This is going really, really well. Can I DM you on Instagram? It's taking this call to action part, but sometimes we have to originate those ourselves. Yeah. And it does take a little bit of risk, but I think Jonathan set it up beautifully to where you have plenty of things that you can look for and see where the power lies and what your goals are. Great stuff. Really, really great stuff. And it's all about connecting.
Yeah, 100%. And if you've got like a product, and if you don't have a product, you need to get one, right? Have something to offer to somebody. But if you have a product, like for me, I tell people, ask them a question. I said, DM me about it, right? Or so people have text numbers in there. Text me, email me, whatever those things are.
Yeah.
And, there's something I didn't really say in there, but don't put links into your bio. It's wasted space. You have only a limited amount of characters. Mm-hmm. You want to get a link tree in your bio on Instagram or SocioTap. One of those things, be able to take people down a further path with you, because let's be real, you can't click it. And nobody is going to sit there and type out a YouTube link.
Yep.
Are you crazy? Like, would you do that? No. So don't put it up there for somebody, right? Think about it, right? People are like, oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Are you serious? Have you been on anybody's bio? You can't click it. You cannot click it. So you want to be clear. And really, and again, if you want a good, my bio is, may not work for everybody, but it's a good place to start. Go check it out. Jonathan George on Clubhouse. And you can copy and do as much as, I don't care. And if you want to create that nice bio, where the idea right here is you want to go into notes on your iPhone.
Yeah.
And you can add, if you want to create cool fonts, go to like Facebook fonts, Google it, and you can type in those fonts and put it in. You can just copy and paste it into the profile. The other thing that I didn't really talk about was the emoji situation. You're like, oh my God, like I don't like a lot of emojis. People like just throw up emojis everywhere because they're searchable, but nobody's searching brains unless it's like, they're not going to go brains and smart people. They're just going to look up smart people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A business strategist. You don't need to put an office building for a business strategist. What you want to strategically use those for is, now Clubhouse has their, what I think 6 to 8 that they have a dove for spirituality or religion or whatever. They have a little leaf for something else, or so they have little different ones. They have theirs, but people think, oh, I have to put the brain in there because it's searchable. Well, who's looking up a brain to find you? You know what I mean? Like, it's just not even the sense of that. You might have one, but you want to utilize those to draw people's attention to the important things that are on your profile.
Yeah.
It breaks up the text. It makes it easier to read. Bullet point, take out all of that big old chunky section and bullet point those things so people can digest quickly. Because again, it's a flicker. We're all flicking, right?
Yeah.
Keep scrolling. My finger, oh my God, my finger, like I'm gonna have like arthritis setting in there because you're clicking, you scroll. So you're like, okay. So that's why you want to use those things, but those are going to help you build a sexier bio for sure.
Yeah. That's good. Guys, we have covered so much information in this segment, which is talking about profile, building a profile, building a bio. Section number 1, first thing, clear content. Make sure you know exactly what it is you're wanting to share. Make sure people, point number 2, know what your title is so they know what specifically you're offering. Point number 3, tie your social proof to it. Connect it to your social media. Don't be ashamed of what you have accomplished, but let people know that you have background to be able to do it. And when you do that, share the story of the journey that you've been through during that process, because when you share that story, it makes the objective things that you've done in your life more human and more connectable and easier to be able to connect with. And then 5, which really takes us to those universal points that Jonathan was talking about. You want to have information, you want to have points in your profile that make you approachable, humble, credible, that brings people into your sphere and says, you know what, I like them. And the last thing was such a huge point, call to action. Guys, if we're not capitalizing on the chance to connect with people, what are we doing? We have to capitalize on it. It's been so good. And that rounds out our profile bio of what you just specifically, when you click on that profile, that bio that pops up, again, you have the short bio, you have the long bio, and those are really important things. Real quick around the room before we wrap up this segment of profile and bio, when we're in building a personal brand on Clubhouse, just around the room, guys, last little tidbits on this before we close out this section. Let's go ahead and go to Nelson. Nelson, over to you first.
Yeah, sure. Jonathan, thank you. Gold. Everything you said, I'm writing notes, and I've been in rooms with you, hearing you say some of these very same things. The one thing I would say is everything that Jonathan has mentioned, all 6 steps are geared towards building relationships. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't come on this platform thinking you're going to sell someone. No one likes to be sold. The goal is that these 6 things will allow someone to build a relationship with you, which the byproduct might be a sale, the byproduct might be a business venture. But again, focus on relationships. Clubhouse is so different, which is why you want to tune into the information that the Winning Network is definitely putting out for you guys. Collaboration with Unleash the Rockstar. Unleash your Rockstar.
Love that. That's so good.
Ryan, over to you.
Yeah, I think this is significant, and Jonathan and Nelson both nailed it. It's about relationships. I would just encourage anybody who has taken this information and you're kind of starting to feel it's like, ooh, that's a lot to kind of, watch it back, break it down, but also, we're available at the Winning Network to answer questions and stuff as you go along, and just know that it's worth it, because there's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go with other people. So just know that you're investing in yourself, and you may be investing into somebody that you haven't met yet by taking the time to put your information out there in a really, really great, healthy way. And so thank you, Jonathan. That's good stuff.
Man, you just said something that reminded me, a diamond takes billions of years to create in nature, but in the right compacted heat, under the right circumstances, you can make a clearer, brighter, bigger diamond in just a month. And I don't understand why people always think I think I was the one who was trying to create the billion year diamond. But yeah. Once I learned that coaches actually existed, I was like, heck no, I'm not doing this anymore. I've got people, I've spent over 100,000 in the past 4 years on coaches to help me get where I need to go, to improve, to be better and bigger. Now, not everybody has that much, can do that, but invest where you can so that you can grow so much faster. That is such an incredible point. Not that I just wanted to say that you are so spot on about that. Man, you can just grow so much bigger, faster because somebody's already been there. There's no need to retry to create the wheel. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. And what you're talking about isn't only the heart of you, Jonathan, and Unleash the Rockstar, but it's also the heart of the Winning Network is both of us, both of our companies. We want to be able to help. That's why we paired together in this collaboration. We want to help people get where they want to go. And sometimes it's not easy to do by yourself. That's why we do what we do. That's why we're creating this course, is coming together to make it easier on you to be able to connect you to your passion, to be able to portray your personal brand so people know who you are and what you offer. So guys, let's get ready for our next segment as we get ready to dive into also something incredibly important, your interest. Now that you've built a profile, now that you have a good understanding of what your profile and your bio is, now we need to figure out where your interest is and where you want to specifically connect. So stay with us right here, right now, as we continue helping you to build your personal brand on Clubhouse. Thanks to the collaborative work of not only the Winning Network, but Unleash Your Rockstar. Hey, stay with us. We'll be right back. Boss. Okay. Boys, I severely underestimated the amount of information. I was way wrong. We're going to have to charge way more for this. Seriously, because we didn't even, that was an hour.
Kinsley, can I, because I'm with you on that. I think we should give everything out there, and then we can go back and storyboard it. And then if you want to re-record later on, or if you want to do some higher tech stuff, but I think just seeing what we're working with, because Jonathan's saying new information that I haven't heard yet.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. There's so much, I have not heard a fraction of what you just shared. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah, Nelson, what do you think on that, as far as just making sure it's the right play and going forward and putting the product out there?
I was thinking